Hello everybody, welcome back. And today I'm at a big special event here at Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield. This is a air show that they put on once a year, and I'll give you a little panoramic here. I just sat through a huge line to get in here, and the security was worse than Disneyland. So just a heads up, if you come here, you can't bring food. You can bring a clear plastic bottle of water, but that's about it. But it is free, so come with me and let's go check this air show out. Okie dokie, check these helicopters out. These are bad boys, huh? So I imagine these are pretty fast helicopters as far as helicopters go. And look at the sensors in the back there. Radar and LiDAR and everything else. And the rotor. Interesting, the rotor almost looks like it's powered by some kind of electric drive, but I doubt it. I'm sure it's connected to the motor somehow. But this is a pretty wild looking marine helicopter here, as you guys can see. This, I think, is an extra fuel tank. Yeah, it's coming from the fuel here, so they can go long distance. So look at the inside of that thing. Look at all the details. There's something that detached from there, some kind of system. And this is a sensor they just installed. And they got a little wing here for stabilization. And more sensors. And the inside looks like a video game console. And then of course the machine gun down below, which I think turns with the pilot's headset. Here's the other side of that particular one. I think these are both the same, with a little bit of different things. This one has the extra fuel tank. That one's got more rocket launchers on it. There's a gentleman standing over here. I wonder if he knows anything about it. I'll ask him in a minute.
The AH-1Z Viper, but it's colloquially known as the Cobra. Okay,
I've heard that.
It was introduced, yep, so the predecessor, the whiskey variant, was Iraq, Afghanistan, and then mid-2010s is when the Zulu variant was introduced.
Okay.
200 knots max airspeed. We typically go around at about 140 knots ish.
Got two jet engines? Or?
Correct. Yeah, two T700G 401Cs. We got number one over here on the left, number two on the right hand side. Same engine as the H60.
Okay.
Pretty common engine out of GE. We have 6 stations on these weapons pylons. So
does that mean you can have 3 different on each side? Or?
Yep. So on this station number 1, you put AIM-9. So AIM-9 mic, the air-to-air, IR, and then stations 2 through 5. We can customize either a rocket launcher, an auxiliary fuel tank, and then you'll see on the other side Hellfire launcher.
Is that left and right side? So 10 total, or?
So 6 total. So
on each side.
1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And then 4, 5, and 6 on the right hand side.
Wow.
So up to 16 missiles is what we could carry, or realistically we never would, but put 4 19-shot rocket pods on for a total of, what is that, 76?
Why would you not do that? Because overkill, or?
Overkill and weapon to target match, really. So the auxiliary fuel tank gives us about 20 minutes more loiter time, which comes comes
I bet.
pretty.
If you run out of gas, then you're that's so good.
It, yeah. But particularly the Hellfire is, for most scenarios, a better weapon to target match. It provides a standoff from threat systems, more accurate probability to hit versus unguided rockets. We also have the ability to carry laser guided rockets. So if you look at that gray launcher over there,
yeah,
that is a carrier for laser guided rockets, so precision guided.
So when you say laser, the helicopter would point a laser at a target?
Correct.
And
the seeker
it would follow it?
Correct.
Wow.
So yep,
Are you the pilot of this, or?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I bet the training was pretty crazy.
The training is ongoing and never ends. It's,
okay. Because are they constantly evolving, the helicopters, or? So like technology-wise, is that why the training
comes out?
Always?
Correct. Yeah. But we're really training to the mission sets. Just getting more proficient at, say, for example, close air support or.
So you do mock war situations all the time and all that?
Correct. So week to week we'll do unit level training where we're developing tactical scenarios in which the student will plan to execute that mission. So the whole deal.
Wow. So, I bet this is fun to fly, huh?
It's a good time. We train pretty hard.
What's the range of it?
So we're looking at 2.5 hours of flight time. So about 100 nautical miles ish would give us about a 30-minute time on station. So we're a lot of fuel planning goes into what we're doing with respect to where we're taking off from, getting to whichever objective area we need to train at, and then recovering at a fuel source.
And obviously there's no refueling of these things, right?
No air-to-air refueling.
Because of the rotor blades, right?
So the CH-53 has the ability to air-to-air refuel.
Oh, wow.
The MV-22 Osprey, the CH-47, specific variants of that in the Army have the ability to air-to-air refuel. H-60, but we do not, which comes into play particularly with FARPs, so forward arming and refueling points. Think mini airfield that can be set up in a matter of half an hour,
And so you can land, refuel, and go.
Correct. Refuel and rearm really is kind of the. So Iraq, Afghanistan, there were quite a few number of FARPs.
Just a fuel truck and then arm.
Yeah, a lot goes into planning a FARP.
I bet.
Because you also have site security.
Well, it becomes a target immediately, right? Yeah.
Yes, please do. Yes.
So have you flown this in battle, or?
No. So sorry, my family lives in Oakland.
That's okay.
So they're coming up.
Prepare them for a long wait in the traffic.
Oh, is it?
It's brutal.
The Zulu variant has not been in combat. It was introduced to the fleet starting in, I want to say, 2016 time frame, plus or minus a bit.
And this is the kind where you put your helmet on and wherever you look, the guns go?
Correct. So yeah, we have the ability to slew the gun to our reticle, our attachment on our helmet. We also have the ability to slew the gun off of the controller on the top portion.
That sticks up. Video game controller.
So that's where it stows.
I love that.
You pull it out, and we have the ability to slew the gun via that.
Does Sony make that for you guys? Probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Like the subs.
Yeah.
Or we can just go fixed forward gun, so just directly off the nose, steep dive angle, tight CEP, or impact it.
Wow. And do you have rear protection too if someone's behind you, or just the front?
So all of our ordnance is forward facing, with the exception of the gun. The gun does have traverse left and right and down. which provides the ability to do.
If you had an enemy right behind you, there's not a lot.
No, so we'll fly at a minimum in a section, so
Okay.
2 aircraft with the -2 aircraft covering lead. So we have tactical maneuvering. We'll train to play into that scenario. For sure.
Wow. So what are some of the things you're most excited about when you fly this?
So
as far as
shooting
being a pilot,
unguided rockets is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
A lot of skill. There's a good amount of training and proficiency
to be accurate.
To be accurate.
So you got to pitch it, and you got
correct. So
right and
in the event we're doing a low altitude tactics. So think in the event of radar like SAM systems. So we'll train to low altitude. So we'll ingress below 200 feet. We're looking at maybe 50 to 100 feet height above the ground.
Wow.
About 130, 140 knots. And then about 1.8 kilometers to 1.6 kilometers, we'll execute a pop. So we'll go about 25 degrees nose up, which keeps the gun in constraints. So we'll
is that about that angle there?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Okay. It's 45 is pretty steep.
We'll start shooting the gun at 2 kilometers to suppress the target while we're popping. And then we'll climb up and then tip in. So we're looking at about 0.5 to 0.6 Gs on the roll in.
Wow.
And then go nose on to the target. And then cease gun and start shooting unguided rockets. And we'll pull off at 0.6 kilometers and pull anywhere from 1.6 to 2.2 Gs on the pull off.
Really?
2.2 would be a bit on the higher end. I don't think I would do that. I typically pull off 1.6 to 1.8 Gs.
This thing produces that much Gs, huh?
Mm-hmm. So we'll get
it's like an F1 car.
Yeah. I think they pull more Gs.
Yeah, in corners they do.
But their lateral Gs are quite significant. Our Gs, you don't even have to take maneuver or anything. It's not like fixed wing BFM.
Like that, yeah. Wow. That's really awesome.
So yeah, we're
are these carbon fiber, the blades?
Correct. Honeycomb interior, yep. Very, very light.
Yeah.
I want to say 91 pounds.
Per blade?
Per blade.
Wow. That is very light.
296 revolutions per minute at 100%.
Wow.
But yeah, 2.5 Gs on the upper end, depending on environmentals.
What's
gross weight?
The altitude ceiling on this?
So DA or density altitude 14,000 feet. Above 10,000 feet, we start getting into oxygen requirements.
And thin air for the blades too, right?
Correct. Our VNE also drops. So from 200 knots to 100 knots indicated airspeed at the 10,000 feet. But let's see, we're typically transiting 500 feet AGL, 1,000 feet AGL. I always had one question. Do the rotor blades accelerate, or they stay at one speed? One speed.
Speed.
So when we're full open on the throttles, 100% NR is what we call it.
Okay.
It's 296.
It's not like a car with a gas pedal. They're always just that speed.
Correct. So when we during startup, engine start, that's when we bring it up to 100%. It takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes-ish from hitting the battery to ready to take off. You can get faster.
I was going to say, in the heat of battle, they'd have to be faster, right?
Correct.
Just no warm-up.
So on the fast end, you're looking at about 6 minutes maybe-ish, depending on pilot proficiency, really, in terms of hitting the buttons right. But it's a very smart aircraft. We have computers that are doing all the fuel flow. So back in the days of OG or original helicopters, it was all manually governed fuel, where hey, you need more power, you introduce more fuel.
Okay.
For us, we're just at one throttle setting, which makes it very, significantly less taxing.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you telling me all this stuff. educated me quite a lot.
No OPSEC, yeah, all unclassified.
And I love your language, because obviously you've been immersed in this a long time.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah. So
now, like a civilian like me, I'm like, what?
I have to, yeah. I'm getting better as the day progresses.
Are you? This is your duty today, is to show this?
Correct. Yep. So there'll be some other air crew relieving us in the afternoon.
Okay. Are they gonna fly these at all or no?
No, we won't be a part of the.
Yeah.
We'll fly out Monday after the air show.
It'd be cool to watch them.
Back to Pendleton. It's fun doing hover work. We'll do you know, pedal turns and do all that stuff. But we're not a part of the air show today.
Okay. But this is your current technology, right?
Correct.
That's what surprises me. I guess
so.
it is what it is.
Realistically, I mean,
you can't learn a lot by looking at the outside, basically.
Right, and nothing's turned on. Nothing is. Well, certain stuff is classified.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, the model has been, or rather, the aircraft has been around for decades.
Right.
It's not new.
Obviously, it's a good one.
Yeah, they've kept it around.
Are they working on a new upgrade of a complete redesign?
No.
Not that you're aware of?
Not to my, again, I'm not.
Well, I know they have stealth helicopters, right? I've seen those in movies and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about that world.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
Presumably three-letter agency type stuff.
Yeah.
The light attack contract to replace light attack is, I think, undecided. I'm not
Are these made by Bell, or they are?
Yep.
Wow,
So,
they've been around a long time.
Yep, factory out of Amarillo, Texas.
Okay.
Yep, it's a good facility. So they also make the Osprey.
Well, I appreciate your time once again.
Sure.
Well, that was awesome. Talking to the pilot of this and getting all the details. He gave me so many details, I was a little surprised, but hey, he knows what's classified and not. But that was amazing. Talking to the actual pilot of that helicopter was awesome. Let's see what else we can find now. This is like the been around forever, this helicopter. Looks like they're letting you in the pilot seat though. And the gentleman told me that there's an F-35 here that is the latest technology in a fighter plane, and I imagine the security behind that's pretty intense. Look at that view right there. That's a pretty awesome view. Helicopters are pretty amazing vehicles. And believe it or not, you can thank the Russians for that. They invented them. So that's pretty awesome. And I like how they're letting people sit in. I wonder if I should get in line and try to sit in this thing. I wonder what that little arrow, that wedge is. It looks like it cuts. It's a blade. Doesn't that look like something that would slide in there and then it would cut it? Huh. And then they got the kind of demon shield going on in the front, and then something at the very top of the rotor, some kind of radar system. Pretty wild. All right, I don't know if I'm going to actually get in, but I just wanted to film the inside of it. It's pretty awesome up here. I'm going to ask about the thing. It looks like it's a cutter. Can I ask you about that thing on the top? It looks like it. Is that for cutting things?
Yeah, so we
it
have
is.
2 on the aircraft. The Zulus have 3. So if we were to hit a wire, we need a way to cut it, because if it doesn't cut it on there, it'll get stuck in our main rotor and it'll take us down.
So that thing is designed so a wire would slide up and it's...
Yeah, it would cut the wire.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's strong enough to cut a wire.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
In what situation would you have a wire? Just by accident, or?
Yeah, so when we fly around, depending on the missions, we're not always like flying like at like 5,000 feet. Sometimes we're like flying 10 feet above the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, so when there's like hills and stuff, we're just like, we call it turf, we're just surfing around. And,
yeah.
So we do our studies to make sure like we see the terrain, there's no obstacles in the way, but sometimes if it does pop up, we have a way to mitigate that at least. So
Are you talking about power poles and stuff,
yeah,
possibly?
like those, power poles and cell phone wires and stuff, so that's what it's meant for.
There's been civilian copters that have hit those. Didn't fare too well.
Yeah.
So that's your emergency backup for that situation.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you said you have one in the back too? Where's that one?
No, so we have that one on top, and then down here, it's down there.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Huh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because same thing, if it doesn't cut it right there, it's gonna catch onto our skid and just nose over and flip us. So people call it flight engineer. So I man the guns. We have 3 different guns, 50 cal, minigun, and 240. I also fix the aircraft too.
Check out that truck there, huh? All you F-150 lovers. That's pretty awesome. Marine F-150.
Themselves to be better each and every day. I don't know about you, but my morning warm-up consists of
Another Red Bull sponsored plane. Red Bull is involved in everything. Oh, they got the jet engine exposed. You can take a look at it.
Just 30 years ago. We're going to watch him now to the left as he goes into a rapid 9G pull, just like he did. Member of the U.S. National Aerobatic Team.
Look at all these controls you got to deal with in here.
He's not a flying terror the sky doing maneuvers like this.
He's jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. These CAL FIRE planes are pretty important to the state of California these days. It's all our quote-unquote fire season. And we got a bulldozer that moves all the brush out of the way. CAL FIRE bulldozer. It's interesting that it's got the blade is on a pivot so they can move it left or right.
This plane is cargo, personnel, patients, whatever it's got to do. We just hop on where we're needed. All you guys do. Thank you.
How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Great.
You have any questions?
What's the model of this plane?
HC-130J.
Okay.
What it is, I don't know.
It does everything though, right? You do equipment, personnel, whatever you want, right?
Yep, I focus on the patients.
Like how far can it fly? But it can be refueled in midair, right?
Yeah, we can, right above your head. Yep.
Yeah.
So you can unlimited.
Pretty much.
Yeah. There was a thing like right outside that looks like a thin wire
once they turn
on a brass
it on
cone.
and get ready to go.
Oh,
Side
yeah,
of the
yeah.
wall.
Yeah, so that is probably the winch. You're talking. It's a winch.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It's so thin.
Yeah. Well, it's for
Joe, I'm not going to ask again. Come on.
for airdroppers.
Okay, not extreme
Parachuters.
weight.
No.
Okay, okay.
For parachuters.
Okay.
If they get hung up on the static
Yeah.
line,
Okay.
they get hung up. They get winched back in.
And the little crank handle down there? Excuse me.
That's the steering wheel.
Oh, for the ground.
For the nose steering. Yeah.
Okay. What's the longest flight you've been on?
9-10 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long flight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So this is the plane I was just in. This is the front. It's a pretty big plane. and still using prop technology with some huge fuel tanks on the side there. And as you heard, the guy that I was talking to said his longest flight was 9 hours. It's a long flight, man. Navy livery there, Jessica. Oregon Arrow. Probably a stunt plane of some kind with a pretty lady on the side. Vans Aircraft, total performance. Takeoff distance 250 feet, landing distance 350 feet. The ceiling 25,000. I don't know much about stall speed, but stall speed is 51 miles an hour. I guess that's as slow as you can go before it'll drop out of the sky. Aerobatic G's, +6, -4. Side-by-side seating. There's another beast of a cargo plane. Wow. This is crazy how big it is. Makes you think of the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise, huh? But this is massive inside. And everything's got insulation. I imagine it gets very cold. C-17A Globemaster 3. Top speed 515, altitude 28,000. Length, cargo bay 85 feet. Payload 170,000 pounds. Oops. And the sign goes blowing down, but I caught it.
What's that?
What's that?
This is your life preserver.
Oh, I thought so.
Yep. Just like the old, the FAA requires us to have these, believe me.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
This is where all the personnel sits going to the mission?
These
Or?
are just jump seats, but we've had people sitting here on the floor. Like I was on the Afghanistan mission, pulling everybody out.
Yeah. I'm just sitting on your butt, huh?
Literally hundreds of people sitting on their butts.
For how long?
Hours.
Oh my God.
Hours and hours and hours and hours. In 130-degree weather.
The inside is 130?
Matter of fact, on this plane, this exact plane, I was there in that mission doing that. And then we'll move troops as well.
Yeah, that's
so,
crazy.
Yeah, we'll definitely move troops as well. So when Marines and Navy guys come in, they don't mind sitting, you know, nuts to butts and everything else. But we can also bring palletized seating too, like real seats for people to sit.
Those are for the higher ups, right?
Yeah, there's like 3.
Yeah. Are those up front?
First class.
Yeah. What's this thing?
This is for auxiliary fuel here.
Oh, that's a fuel bladder?
Yep. So a lot of the like the original old school C-17s.
Yeah.
You'll notice that they aren't in there, but most of them have been modified.
Okay. And this vent thing? Is that part of the fuel? Is that a vent?
What are you talking about?
That white fork thing right there?
Oh yeah, for the ducting there.
Yeah.
And you'll notice, there's all kinds of ducting as well. You notice on the sides here, we have like cryogenic vents because the C-17s do a medical air evac mission. So if you need oxygen for a patient, oxygen's highly flammable, obviously. So we would exhaust it through the outside through either one of these exhaust vents here, or one of the cryogenic vents as well that you'll see. But a lot of this stuff, we have plugins for aeromedical evac, and on that other C-17 behind us, see that big gray plane out there? Don't worry, they're all gray.
Yeah.
The one straight behind us is another C-17 that's set up for aeromedical evacuation.
Okay. Wow. C-17's got some missile defense flares. These must be for securing cargo. Pretty high up here already. Looking out at the tarmac here. Well, that's a C-17 beast of a plane there. There's a I think that's a MiG that just flew by. Yeah, this is a beast of a plane that I was just in. Okay, we have reached the pinnacle of the air show. They actually have two, not one, but two F-35s on display here. Wow. It doesn't look like they're going to let us get close to them. Well, actually, you are going to get pretty close. But check those out. That's a state-of-the-art military fighter there with stealth abilities. As an old MiG goes by above, new and old. Captain Christopher Spooky Brown. Wow, look at this thing. That's pretty impressive. This is about as close as you can get. I'm about 3 feet away from the wing here. And look at the lines on this thing. And the massive wing in the back.
38 feet 11 inches. Empty, weighs in about 48,400 pounds.
Wow.
When fully loaded with fuel and all, comes in at 12,000.
That is a big jet engine there. Pretty impressive, I must say. This is our latest technology there. All right. So this is the other side of the beast. Wow. I wonder what the skin is on that thing. And here's the front. That is impressive, huh? Where else are you going to get this close to an F-35? Well, I made it up to the media platform here. I imagine this is probably one of the best places to watch a plane coming by, a jet. Okay, I can see it here. You see my finger?
Powered by the Klimov VK1 afterburning jet engine, it produces some 7,600 pounds of thrust and afterburner. Let's get ready to take a look at one of the first airplanes and effective has made it a power to deal with extension down low at over 500 miles an hour.
That's awesome stuff there. Very cool.
It was the MiG-17.
Well, what does everybody think so far? This is a pretty impressive air show, huh? And I'm walking towards a section over here I didn't even know existed. There's a lot to look at here. Here is another formidable weapon here. They got a Gatling rotating gun there. And by now, most of you have seen these in the movies. That's a crazy weapon. I forgot the exact name of them. Like Air Hog or something. I don't remember, but I'm sure someone watching this video will fill me in. And here's one more. Got two huge jet engines on them. The spinning machine gun. These are impressive. Looks like they just have one pilot in there too. Check it out, the MiG is rolling right by the Blue Angels.
Aerospace engineers and maintenance technicians everywhere. Corey and Randy going through their last performance checks as they set up to enter the aerobatic box in just a few seconds from now. the team. On the backside, picking up that airspeed once again as they set up now to roll this formation.
And now they got the nose of the C, I think this is another C-17 open. And all the people sitting in the shade of the wing. Why not, right? Okay, now this guy I actually made, when I was a little kid, I made a model of this plane. But I painted it white. Good looking jet. 238 Talon. And they also have, not the band, but the plane, the U-2 Dragon Lady, Lockheed Martin surveillance plane. Shows a little detail. But a lot of spying went on with this type of plane here back in the day. But this is pretty rare. You're not going to see a U-2 plane like this too many places, that's for sure. The guy I was talking to, he says he thinks this is the predecessor of the SR-71 Blackbird. So older, but doesn't have a fuel leaking issue. Over here, we got some land vehicles that are pretty cool. Look at the old bicycle, old Schwinn. This beautifully restored 1943 Willys MV. Wow, brand new looking, that's for sure. Digging the bicycle too. Even got a little model next to it. And while the biplane goes by there, got this big cargo truck here and a vintage motorcycle on the back. Hi. How are you? Good. Good. How you doing? Is that a Harley?
That's an Indian.
I was gonna say the head looks different. Pretty rare.
Yep. Well, Indian got the contract for the military. Only the first contract. So they only made 3,500 of them. Then Harley got the rest of the contracts. So that's number 3218.
Wow. That's awesome. Very rare Indian military motorcycle.
The shifter's on the tank shifter here. So it's 1 up, 2 down. The clutch is on the floor on that side. That's the throttle.
Really?
Yep.
Total opposite of
everything. And this, if you go backwards, is to recharge the distributor.
Oh my God. If you learn to ride a normal motorcycle, you couldn't ride this.
Yeah, because the first thing you do is grab the brake instead of thinking it's a clutch.
That just increases the timing, gives it a little more power?
No, it actually retards it, so it makes it easier to kickstart.
Oh, okay.
So it backs off the timing. Before
compression release existed, right?
Correct. So it leaves it open a little bit so it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't kick back and kick you over the handlebars.
Wow. Huh. Bizarre design. Do you ride it? Does it take a while to learn to ride? Yeah?
No, what's tricky is it was made for, you know, your normal male in World War II was 5'8", 160 pounds.
Yeah.
So when I ride it, my knees hit the handlebars.
Oh,
because of the way the angle is.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of tricky.
Pretty neat. Well, thanks for bringing it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks for checking that out.
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool. The wings are waving, the ailerons. Okay, now
reserve partners come together.
They're having the big beast
rapid
cargo planes
for America
coming over.
Now look now, folks, here they come in a maneuver that you simply cannot see anywhere else. The Travis Air Force Base, Team Travis,
They're coming nice and close, aren't they?
KC-10A extender, our C-5M Super Galaxy, our KC-46A Pegasus, and our C-17 Globemaster 3. Here they come, folks.
And nice and slow.
And approaching show center, it's our KC-10. And here he comes, the undisputed heavyweight lift champion of the world, the C-5M. And last but not least, the always ready, always faithful C-17 Globemaster 3.
Well, they got a Mustang here firing up, and here comes the 22.
The most feared aircraft in the world today, your United States Air Force's F-22 Raptor! Execute an immediate 360-degree flat turn, then reverse the turn in the opposite direction. All in under 3,500 feet of altitude and under complete control. Under complete control, the F-22 Raptor will actually slide backwards.
I've been having
with the minimum radius horizontal turn, and then powers straight up into the vertical. Then watch as Captain Larson changes his direction with the amazing J-turn reposition.
P-51 and the F-22 Phantom. Pretty amazing as they're coming here
United States Air Force aircraft on our
to one last pass, I think. They're basically showing the old and the new. And on that note, while they're finishing up, I might as well go aboard this plane here and see what this is all about. And here's the underside of the plane I was just in. And over here they got a couple older Fs. They look like F-16s, F-17s. All right, well, we're gonna make our way down this way, and I'm getting drawn in by this guy. This is obviously some kind of I think this might be the plane that flies into hurricanes.
Demonstration with Team Travis.
I don't know.
Farewell flight demonstration of the mighty
It's got that giant wing round radar on top and the massive propellers. I'm pretty sure this is those planes that do that. And if it's not, there'll be plenty of people correcting me on that. Those are some big propellers, huh? It definitely kind of looks like one of those hurricane hunting planes to me. Here's some more Fs. Over here they got a little army display. Old Army Jeep, BMW motorcycle. These guys are the World War II Living History Group. They reenact the war. Pretty cool, look at this. American Armor Museum. I got a video I just posted of that. And over here they got a little one-man, two-man show with a gun. Well, apparently they are going to demonstrate a mid-air refueling.
With the boom extended, reaching down to the C5M Super Galaxy. Now in that tanker up front, there's two pilots and a flight engineer. And in the back, in the rear-facing station, is the boom operator. And of course, folks, there's C5M Super Galaxy.
And here we got the Vacaville police showing off their rescue vehicles.
And delivering hope to those who need it most.
This one up here.
Meritoriously in the Indo-Pacific.
Some heavy-duty vehicles there, huh?
No matter where these beautiful aircraft fly, their unique tri-jet profile and American flag emblazoned on the tail flash are a symbol of hope for...
Okay, we're walking around back to where we started. There is a lot of people here. This is spread out over a big area. And I probably won't complain about how long it took me to get into this place, over an hour, but as many people are here, I'm sure they spent longer than I did because I got here early. So if you are planning on coming to this next year, the gates opened at 9 a.m. I was exiting the freeway at 15 after 9 and sat in an hour and 20-minute traffic to even get into the base. So So heads up for anybody coming next year. You need to get here really early. What do you know? I found some more eye candy to look at. It's like an old Japanese fighter plane.
Decide which direction.
And then right next to it is this classic Buick Fireball straight 8 looks like. It's a gorgeous car. 1947 Buick. Beautiful car. And then this, I believe, is a Japanese fighter. One of the ones that probably is involved with Pearl Harbor. And then there's one over here too. They got a whole line going under the belly to get to it. There's a Chuck Yeager book here, and it says book signed by Miss Chuck Yeager. Robots, whole bunch of demos here. Military grade drones. Future City competition. I like that. Very cool. My kids loved those things when they were little. So thanks again, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.